All righty, fellas, what's going on? We got a heat seeker tonight. 53-point over/under game. Bengals at Ravens should be a really fun matchup. We got the flock site questions pulled up here, and this is going to be interesting. I mean, I don't know if you noticed this, Danny, but every primetime game this week has a 49-point over/under or higher.
I didn't actually notice that, but I do know the Ravens Bengals that we're about to watch has the highest over under the slate. But what scares me is it's on Thursday, so that never actually ends up materializing.
Yeah. Well, like Sunday night we have the Lions and Texans, and then Monday night we have the Dolphins and Rams. So a lot of interesting game environments, to say the least. We do have a number of questions to get through, so we should probably fire through these as quick as we can.
The thing I will say quick on that, just think of how high the Texans Lions over under would be if we had confirmation that Nico was playing, because I'm assuming that line is even set it at what it is with pessimism that Nico even plays. So could you imagine how high it would be? Like, especially, I mean, the Texans implied total alone would probably go up at least 2 points with Nico in, right?
Yeah, I would say it's probably factoring in about halfway in between right now. I would imagine that Collins won't be activated, just given that we've heard no optimism that he was going to be. Because I think if he was coming back, I think he probably would have gotten buzz last week that he was going to be activated off of IR and so on and so forth.
Jared, send me the clip of this, because I'll use it in a Flock League clip after if you send that to me. So I'm not sure if you know how to clip on YouTube, but if you can get me that clip, I'll make sure, or just give me the timestamp in the stream. I'll check it out after the stream.
For sure. Okay, Slush Monkey has a question here. Trying to trade him, but why are we so low on Rhamondre? 3 bad weeks like Cook / Najee Harris because touchdown dependent. So I guess what he's saying is he's had 3 bad weeks just like James Cook and Najee Harris have had. Is it because he's too touchdown dependent? I like Rhamondre. I have him as like a low end RB2 ranked rest of season. I guess relative to James Cook, that's definitely, where lower than where he's ranked, but you just feel so much better projecting the Bills offense week over week over the Patriots. And James Cook also I think is just a better running back than Rhamondre Stevenson, and has less of a tendency to kind of disappoint you in terms of, getting banged up and things of that nature. So for me, I don't know. I just feel more reliable about a guy like James Cook. But Stevenson, to me, I talked about him as a buy low like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it's definitely come to fruition since that point.
Yeah, like I'm going to be completely honest. Like I actually don't even hate Stevenson. Like he's my RB23 rest of the season. So it's not like I have him like in the RB3 territory. He has shown, at least in the couple of weeks, that even when he has been inefficient on the ground, because May has been, keeping this offense afloat, we've seen Stevenson get pass game utilization. I mean, he scored 2 touchdowns last week, 1 through the air. Like I think that's going to be a thing that continues, because point blank, who on the perimeter outside of Demario Douglas, who's been a consistent target earner, actually earns targets in that receiver corps?
Yeah, no, there's not a whole lot of guys. I actually, in one of my leagues, I sold high on Rhamondre Stevenson. I sold him and Chuba Hubbard for Kenneth Walker, because I have so many good players on that team. So I packaged 2 usable running backs together to somebody who's 3-6 right now, and they had Kenneth Walker on their team. So I figured it was worth it because Walker was on bye this week. But yeah, Stevenson definitely still a good option. Like I don't think he's like a must trade by any means. No. Like I think you could definitely hold him as like an RB2, RB3 for your team.
No, I will say, if, for example, like I don't think he's a bad sell high either, because I mean, when you are factoring it in, his schedule does get a little bit tougher. I would say, I mean, like for example, like at Chicago, at Miami, I'm assuming that if Tua Tagovailoa is at full health, they're probably going to be heavy underdogs on the road. He still has his bye week in week 14. Like it's not like a dooming schedule. It's not like he has all negative matches, but at the same time, like he is running a little bit hot too on touchdowns. He has 4 in his last 2 weeks. I don't think it's bad process. If he can work you up into like a solidified RB2, like Tyrone Tracy had a bad box score week, but I would take Tracy rest of the season, especially knowing his schedule over Rhamondre.
Yeah, for sure. And if you can pull that trade off, because Stevenson obviously has a little bit more name cachet in casual leagues because he was an RB1 just 2 years ago. Tracy's
went higher than the draft.
People, are worried about that. Like sometimes we get comments where people will group in rookies all together just because they're rookies. Like I remember a couple days ago, somebody said, it's hard to trade for rookies in my league. People, overvalue guys like, all these rookie players. He's like, should I trade? I think it was like a random RB2, like a low end RB2 type of guy. He's like, I can't quite get to Ladd McConkey or I can't remember who the other guy was, but he's like, I think I might be able to get Brian Thomas Jr. though. And I'm like, some leagues just don't know how to value rookies. You know what I mean? Like they think they're all the same.
Now, like, again, am I going to sit here and say I was as high on BTJ now with the knowledge that Trevor Lawrence is going to miss time? No, but at the same time, if Lam McConkey is being treated still above Brian Thomas, like go buy Brian Thomas
Well,
Jr.
this was pre Trevor Lawrence injury,
Well, I
actually.
mean, we may as well talk about it now then. Like, where are you ranking Brian Thomas Jr. now rest of season with the knowledge that Trevor Lawrence could have season-ending surgery?
Yeah, so I didn't see the season-ending report until like recently. I thought it was more so like, oh yeah, he's probably gonna just like miss a game or two. If he's gonna be out for the rest of the year, like Brian Thomas, I had at
Or
16
Pickens.
with Lawrence playing,
Yeah.
and I would say he probably moves down to the like Devontae Adams, probably below Terry McLaurin, George Pickens kind of area where he's like a high-end wide receiver 3, most likely.
I would completely agree. Now, like the question that I have, and again, you might not agree with this guy, but knowing his involvement, knowing how this offense has looked, London a little banged up, like I think Mooney's a top 24 wide receiver for me. I think I would aim slightly above that. I think the question line for me would be like a Pickens, DeAndre Hopkins. Like, where are you gauging that between them and Brian Thomas with the
Yeah, I
knowledge
mean,
of
you might
Lawrence?
hate me for having Hopkins as low as I do because he's nowhere
You
near
got to
Pickens
raise
in
him.
my rankings.
You got to raise him if he's not in your top 24 rest of the season, dude.
No, he's at, dude. So you keep saying that when you like, but like, dude, like Terry McLaurin's at 24 for me. Like, what do you mean? I like Mooney and fucking Hopkins are in your top 24.
So where do you have, like, who do you have just extremely high?
I have DJ Moore at 23. That's probably one guy that you have a little bit lower than me.
Yeah, there's no way you can rank DJ Moore above DeAndre Hopkins. There's no way.
I would absolutely take
Why?
DJ Moore over DeAndre Hopkins. His
Why?
schedule is significantly better for starters.
Great schedule. With that being said, DeAndre Hopkins is running the Juju Rashid Rice role, and he just came off an 8 for 80 plus and 2 touchdown game for this offense.
Dude, DJ Moore's a wide receiver in his prime who was a top 10 receiver last year who's had 3 bad games, and people are throwing in the towel on him.
I'm not saying I'm throwing in the towel. He's my wide receiver 25, but I mean, DJ Moore had one good game this year, and DeAndre Hopkins in his first full game as a Chief already outscored that.
Yeah, they played the worst secondary in the league, and I could say that as a fan of the team.
I mean, it's not a great secondary, but like you saw the role he was used in, dude. Like that's something that's very sustainable.
So he's he's definitely a good option. It's more of a pro Moore take than it is an anti Hopkins take.
Where do you have Hopkins rest of the season though?
Let's move on to other questions here.
Fair. Okay. Where do you real quick though? Like where do you have Hopkins rest of the season?
I have Hopkins at 31 rest of the season.
Oh, we're gonna have to have a debate.
Like I would prefer, like I have Mooney ahead of him. I have Amari Cooper and Khalil Shakir ahead of him. I have Chris Olave still ahead of him, but that will probably change because I don't know for sure what his health status is. And then BTJ, I still have ahead of him, and I still have Mike Evans and Tank Dell in that area as well.
Yeah, I got to raise Evans at least over Higgins because I mean they might end up missing the same amount of time.
Yeah, there's like a big cluster of guys like from like 34 to like 22 or something that I think you could probably reasonably talk me into any which order. Like I have Downs at 34. Like you could probably talk me into Downs being like a top 24 guy too.
I have him at 34 as well, behind like Tillman, Higgins, Olave, Waddle, but like. That's close. And I have a Dunze Shakir, like honest to God, 24 to 36 is pretty close. I just think DeAndre Hopkins should profile ahead of that personally. But Christian, there's a big difference. Let me just say one thing. Christian, there is a big difference between trusting a future Hall of Famer versus an undrafted free agent that was Carson Steele. There is a huge difference. Again, sure, I hop on hype trains. There's a big difference between DeAndre Hopkins and Carson Steele. Let's get that addressed.
I think he's referring to DJ Moore versus DeAndre Hopkins in this statement.
But like we know DeAndre Hopkins, he looks good and he's in a great role. Like maybe DJ Moore just has a great ceiling and that very well could be the case. But seeing what Hopkins is doing in that offense, like Juju Smith-Schuster and his lone start in that offense was a 20+ point per game scorer.
I think you just love this role. I think you're just obsessed with whoever's in this role because you were super in on Juju as a waiver ad guy too. It's a
great role.
great role. You're right. Just DJ Moore's just way better than him. Like I'm sorry. Like he's just a way better receiver at this point in his career.
I get it. And I'm sorry, Caleb Williams, but like a top 2 wide receiver for Caleb Williams versus a top 2 pass catcher for Patrick Mahomes is a night and day situation. And I'm sorry, Xavier Worthy, if we
go back and forth on this too, but he is the clear alpha of that team still.
I disagree.
They had 100 yards.
He has the same amount of targets at him since the bye. And as we know, rookies scale up post bye.
Yeah. But also DJ Moore has just been bad recently. It's a sample in which DJ Moore hasn't played well. Like,
Yeah,
just as a general philosophy, I still think he's very clearly the alpha there.
DJ Moore can get more targets than Roma Dunze. Doesn't mean they're more valuable targets than Mahomes to Hopkins in that offense.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a the fucking Chiefs are like run heavy, man. Like the number one
I don't
receiver.
disagree.
Anyways,
What should I do at quarterback after losing Dak? Well, it's
I
hard
mean,
to say
there's some
who's
great streaming
available.
options this week if you're looking for options like, I don't know, Brock Purdy available on the waiver wire potentially is a very, very great start on the waiver wire as well. There's a lot of guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually preparing my video for tomorrow, and again, you're going to see my full, quarterback, wide receiver, running back, and tight end. I actually already prepared the graphics. You might actually be able to see them, Corey. But in terms of the quarterback plays I have for tomorrow, I'll give you guys a little sneak peek. So Brock Purdy, again, it does suck that Mason does have him in the Flock League because obviously this is a very, very good matchup for him at Tampa Bay. Christian McCaffrey back, going to be able to give you some out of the backfield as a receiver, and like we know with Tampa Bay, when Vita Vea is healthy, you can't run on them, but you can sure as hell still pass on them. So that makes up for a big pass funnel game environment there.
Yeah, dude, we are going to be in the 49ers.
Yeah. And then Sam Darnold against the Jaguars. I mean, the Jaguars are just horrific on the back end.
Yeah. Sorry. I think I may have lagged out there. I don't know if you lagged out or if I lagged out. Somebody lagged out.
You were lagging out pretty hard for me. Now, I don't know if that was on my end or yours. So maybe we're just both good in the eyes of the subs. But anyways, in terms of the quarterback situation, that's where I'd lean Purdy or Darnold. But can you not hear me at all?
I think it's me.
Comment who's lagging right now, chat? Because I can't tell if it's me or you. I've been talking. Can you not hear me?
No, I'm definitely the one lagging. I'm pretty sure it's me.
Yeah.
It's me. Okay. So just Danny, just go through this Dak question, and hopefully I'll stop lagging at some point.
Okay. So yeah, with that being said, Purdy and Darnold are two guys that stick out to me very much in terms of like other guys. If those guys are owned, well, I'll throw you guys. Yeah, Tua Stafford are other good options. Again, I don't know what his ownership's going to be, and I get it. The matchup itself is not great, but at the same time, if you're in a 4-point passing touchdown league and Drake May is available, I don't care about the matchup at this point, dude. He's giving you 40 plus rushing yards per game, and when he's healthy, dude, the guy's been averaging 20 plus points per game.
Yeah, he's been over 17.5 in every game that he started, and then 11.5 in a quarter of play versus the Jets before he got injured too. So yeah, he's been great. Like I said, I don't like the schedule either, but if you're just looking for a week, like a play this week, Purdy should be widely available after the bye potentially. Darnold for sure should be widely available. And Stafford Tua, Cousins a good play. I also don't mind Rodgers this week against the Cardinals as well. Both those receivers starting to play better.
Yep, for sure. So again, appreciate the support there. We go on to Easy. He says, honestly, I feel this is a smash accept. So
it is.
Yeah. I mean, Braylon Allen is nothing in this deal. Yeah, go accept that.
Yeah, this isn't even enough for Bijan alone. Like, not even close.
I don't disagree. And you heard what I thought about Hopkins. Like,
yeah, for some reason my ranking hasn't updated since I moved him up, but yeah, he would be a little higher than where I have him ranked there, but this is not particularly close. And I could actually almost even make the no, it's probably enough for.
It's not worth it for Marv. Yeah, I wouldn't rank it like this, but if someone said I fully am bought in on the KC role for DeAndre Hopkins, I don't think that is crazy. Again, I would take Marv, but.
I would take Marv still for sure.
But like, if I asked you right now, Hopkins stays in this role rest of the season, like what would you say the actual split is between him versus Marv outscoring the other rest of the season? Again, obviously that's being very ambitious that he stays healthy.
You have a fucking obsession with this role, bro. Like I don't know. It's a good role. It's a good role. I don't know. You seem to think that like anyone is Jesus Christ who's in it. That's where I'm at with it.
I mean, it's literally the Amon or St. Brown, Puka Nacua role.
I'm not going that far.
That's what it's been all year.
The
Kansas City Chiefs slot wide receiver has literally been the wide receiver 3 in points per game.
Here's the thing, though. We've seen one good game from Juju in that role. We've seen one good game from DeAndre Hopkins in that role. It might just be way better than those guys.
Maybe, but like when's there been a bad game in that role?
Well, Juju was banged up for a little bit there and couldn't produce.
I mean, like that was on like 20% of the snaps, though.
No, before the big game. I mean, he had like a game or two where he was ramping up where he wasn't really producing, I think. I don't know. Either way, Let me just put it this way. If everyone in your league is reacting like Danny, you should fucking be selling high on DeAndre Hopkins right now because he's a future Hall of Famer. He's probably won people in your leagues multiple fantasy championships.
He can tear up, yes.
And he's got a ton of name value and he plays for Kansas City. So, and he just had a big game. So I would try and sell him personally.
I mean, if you could tear up, sure. But like, you're not tearing up to DJ Moore.
I don't know. It's giving New Orleans 49ers.
Yeah. All right. We'll see. Anyways, I mean, it's a great role.
Anyways, I'm staying even keel with DeAndre Hopkins. Top 30 receiver, can get behind that.
Okay.
Top 24, a little high for me.
Fine. Fair enough.
James Conner, Rico Dowdle, Kareem Hunt, Tony Pollard, or Tyrone Tracy. This is Tracy.
Oh, Tracy's there. Yeah, right? Tracy. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't even see Tracy. So let's say Tracy wasn't in that discussion. Would Hunt be your next guy just based off the sheer volume he's getting?
Yeah, Hunt. Honestly, the matchup too. I would prefer Hunt. The Broncos are more of a run funnel than they are pass funnel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's going to happen when you got a guy like Surtain on the outside. I mean, they've been rocks against receivers this year.
I don't know if you saw it. Didn't make the video this today, but it'll be in probably next video. Dude, I sent Mason like a totally rational deal.
I saw that. I saw that. Then he countered with Waddle and fucking
Tillman and who was the other player?
Tank
Dell. I sent him Cedric Tillman, Tank Dell. I'm like, okay, 2 good receivers that can upgrade your receiver position. Mason like has 4 very solid running backs, but not like a whole lot at wide receiver.
Which is hilarious because of how he drafted.
I know. I'm going after Jalen Waddle and Najee Harris, who I asked him specifically, like, which running back do you like the least or whatever. I just assumed it would be Najee. Maybe he likes Rhamondre less or whatever. Doesn't matter. His worst running back and Jalen Waddle for Tillman and Tank Dell. To me, I thought that was a very rational deal. I get a running back. He gets a receiver. He sends me back Najee Harris and Najee Harris and Jalen Waddle for Devon Achane, the only running back on my roster that's usable.
Sorry, I just Ginger Ale's question next. I saw him type in chat, so we'll answer this question, and then Ginger Ale's literally next. So I have a very easy answer for Ginger Ale's question in a second, but yeah, I would agree with you with Tyrone Tracy. He is so high in my rankings this week. Where do I have him? I have him at 14. So who out of the top 13 am I higher on than you? Because I thought I'd have Tracy higher than you. Kamara?
Who did I have below?
Kamara, Cook, Taylor, Jones, one of them?
I think... No, I have all those guys in my top 12.
Who do I have? Maybe you haven't put McCaffrey back in?
No, I have McCaffrey in.
Mixon?
No, I have Mixon in.
What?
Oh, sorry. I have McCaffrey 1 spot lower than Tracy. That's what it is. I have McCaffrey at 14. And if it gets announced that McCaffrey is going to be on, like, I think he's going to be on some kind of pitch count. That's the reason I have him ranked here. But if they announce that he's like a full go or something like that, I would obviously move him up.
Look, I have him at 8 right now, and like that's only because like the top 7 for me, like Mixon, a tough matchup, but Mixon's getting such a good workload. Achane against the Rams, Kyron against Miami, Bijan against New Orleans, Brees against Arizona, Derek against Cincinnati, and then obviously Saquon against my Cowboys. So like what I realized from doing these rankings, bro, is you want running backs because the wide receiver position comparatively right now is bleak. It's bleak. Sorry,
I have a trade offer, and so AJ said, are you going to take that trade or not? You're going to have to remind me what league that's in, AJ. I'm in fucking 13 leagues, and I don't feel like going through every single one of my trade negotiations right
now. Here, click the next button.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, did you like my urine gif?
What urine gif?
No, I saw the waiver that you claimed Hill 41 minutes ago, and I just replied with the gif of someone pissing in a bottle.
Justice Hill? I got him?
Yeah, you got him.
Oh, let's go. I have a running back I could start tonight. I don't know. So in my spot, would you start Justice Hill over Ray Davis or Braylon Allen? I think you probably would.
I would start Ray Davis very comfortably.
Really?
Dude, against Indy, that game environment, he doesn't get a lot of work, but he's been so good.
I put this claim in for Justice Hill like for regular waiver time. Like when it was supposed to run on Wednesday and I forgot about it. I guess I assumed I didn't get him.
Yeah, I mean, like now with the like, if Keaton Mitchell was inactive, I would go Hill over Davis. I think I would probably have him like I don't know though. I have Davis in my top 35, dude.
Bro, I'm sensing a Justice Hill game tonight.
I mean, I could see it. It's not just because you're starting him, right?
Yeah, dude, I am down horrendous at running back. You are correct. Alex Madison
Yeah.
is my only second startable running back behind Achane. And these fucking guys, these domain guys and these
They
land
love their
actually maybe
running
not so much
backs.
the land guys, but Mason, the domain guys, and the devs and the editor, they all like think RB4s are fucking elite. They're like, I need like, I don't know, man. I only have
DJ
4
Moore.
elite running backs on my team. I'm gonna need the depth. Like, I'm actually looking for running backs right now. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys?
Yeah, that's definitely an adjustment.
Madison is startable in my state right now, Jelly Boy. That's the only spot on my roster that's weak right now. Like, I mean, you know, my flexes aren't like a lead or anything, but they're good options.
Sorry, that just made me laugh. You're like, Madison's my only startable running back.
Startable as in gets a workload is what I meant.
I will say I feel so great about my fucking RB core now.
I don't know.
I was
Chat,
at that point.
I'm gonna farm this out to the chat. Would you guys start? If we're down tremendous at running back, as you guys know. Are we starting Justice Hill, who is probably the floor play of the 3 running backs that I have? Ray Davis. Yeah, literally, even better because Madison's on bye. Ray Davis or Braylon Allen? Give me your answers in the chat down below, and I will go with the most popular one because I have absolutely no conviction on that decision.
Very comfortable no-brainer Ray Davis for me, by the way.
That's who I have in right now, and I was mentally prepared to start him. I honestly forgot that I even put in a bid on Justice Hill because he was dropped like right before waivers kicked in, so he ran today instead of on Wednesday.
For the record, because I literally can't make a roster move, my roster is full and I have bye weeks. So I have JT Sanders at my tight end spot to fill in for Njoku, who's on bye, but I have Brooks on my IR. So I literally can't make a lineup change right now because there's nobody that I can drop. So I literally have to wait until after the week, hope everybody that's in my lineup that's questionable plays. And then I'm going to have to make that decision once I drop JT Sanders after the week. But it's so hilarious because I thought I was the only one that had to start Ray fucking Davis this week because I have to do this. I have May, Dowdle, Tracy, Debo's the guy I'm waiting on now. Jefferson, Wilson, JT Sanders, and I have fucking Davis and HN in the fucking flexes. And I have guys like JSN and Njoku waiting with Brooks on the IR. So like,
yeah,
we'll both start Ray Davis.
And has so many guys on bye this week as well. I did you see the trade that I made in my home league?
The one that you sent me at like late night or early in the morning?
No, right? not the Kenneth Walker one. The trade that I made, I tweeted it out. I traded away Cedric Tillman and Jonathan Brooks, and this was actually yesterday. So the Chuba extension actually probably helped me out. For Jalen Waddle and Ricky Pearsall because I needed bodies to start at receiver because Higgins is out and half my receivers are on bye.
Brooks and who?
Brooks and Tillman, who's also on bye. Tillman and Brooks on bye next week, and I got Waddle, who's already had his bye, and Pearsall, who's already had his bye.
Yeah, that's about fair, especially at a 3 and 6 spot. Again, like I
have to win. Like I didn't have a choice. Yeah. If Higgins had played, I wouldn't have had to do the trade. But I also Brooks, like even before the extension, I was just concerned that he was just going to get some workhorse role when he came back.
Other factor, by the way, sorry, to the Ray Davis decision. I don't mind the deal, by the way, in your situation. Again, 80 to 90 cents on the dollar, but like you kind of were forced to in your hand. The other factor for the Ray Davis spot is I think he's already a decent projection as is. But if Cook were to go down in game, the guy would probably be a 20-point scorer against Indy.
Yeah, I agree with that statement too. And that's what Brock said too. Highest running back upside. That's what you need for a garbage RB2. And like quietly, Ray Davis been a top 20 running back in 3 of the last 4 games too, even though James Cook only missed 1 of those games. Yeah, no, he's been pretty. It's also possible that game gets out of hand as well. Like they like just beat the shit out of Indianapolis, and there's garbage time, Ray Davis touches or whatever. Also, I just wanted to look into this because it would have factored maybe into the Justice Hill part of this is running back targets against the Bengals on a per game basis are allowing like the 27th most targets against. So like they're good against pass catching running backs is what I mean. So that actually doesn't factor. Like if they were like some, check down Charlie type of defense where like constantly running backs were getting targets against them, that would have maybe made me go Hill, but they're actually not like the type of defense that teams throw against to their running backs.
Hear me out. This is very, very gutty, but like it's also like not terrible. There's a little Samaje Perine revenge spot against Denver this week, who's very good against outside perimeter wide receivers, and he just got 5 targets last week against Tampa. I don't think he's the worst, gutty, disgusting spot start.
Are you suggesting I go pick him up and play him?
I would start Davis for what it's worth. So I wouldn't like add, but I'm saying like if there's anybody else out there in sticky spots, like I actually just picked him up in the listener redraft league, which is why I thought about it because Brian Robinson didn't practice today.
Yeah. Like I will say I'm like high key. I have a very large talent for predicting Justice Hill games. And this one feels like a Justice Hill game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I predicted the one against Tampa. I was like, dude, Justice Hill's going to feast tonight. I guarantee it. Like I knew he was going to have a good one. And same with the one against Buffalo earlier in the year, man. I have a sixth sense for starting Justice Hill. I don't know. Justice Hill versus Ray Davis is the decision, man. I don't know what I'm going to do. I have about 20 minutes to decide.
Justice Hill versus who?
Ray Davis.
Ray Davis, 100%.
I mean,
but like, think of it like this: if you're gonna eat a 0 at the running back spot, which like again,
is Keaton playing tonight? Because that actually is a factor.
He's active. He's active.
Keaton's playing. Okay, so that you're probably right.
But I don't disagree. By the way, starting P. Ryan and Graham, which I might actually be forced to do if either. I mean, Brian Robinson. I think Brian Robinson's gonna play because like he always just misses practice. But like again, you're gonna know because you've been tracking it for your running back video. Like what's going on there?
Yeah, it sounds like he's going to try and play. He said he's like got like a whole new perspective on injuries or some shit. He practiced limited capacity the last 2 days.
Okay, so that's a good sign for me. And then, well, I might actually have to start P. Ryan anyways because fucking Keon Coleman is just completely banged up. Metcalf's on bye, Nico's out, and Walker's on bye. So
not great. Anyways, we got to answer some questions here. We're trolling.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay,
let's smash
so Worthy's ass. Higgins is out. Sutton's in a horrible matchup. I think Odunze is comfortably one of these.
AJ left context for this question. I remember that. Let me see. I could play Tracy, but would have to take him off my taxi and cut Akers. Akers is nothing. If you could start Tracy, he's just such a better option.
Cut Israel Abanikanda. What do you mean? Why do you have to cut Akers?
Yeah, cut
or CH. Like cut one of these bums. You have bums to cut.
Like Zay Jones, Johnny Wilson, fucking Nick Westbrook.
Why is Tracy still on your fucking taxi squad, bro? That's the first question I should ask you.
That's a good point.
Why is he still there?
You must have like not needed him up until this point.
League, LOL. Okay, maybe he's not correct at this point. Okay,
well, so go off the guys he's considering because I'm assuming that's probably going to be those top guys. If that's the case, it's very comfortably Sutton. Very comfortably.
I think it's Wandale, bro. I hate the matchup for Sutton this week against the Chiefs, bro. The Chiefs are so good against wide receivers.
They're very good, but also, I mean, Wandale, what upside do we got there?
I mean, Carolina sucks. That's the upside.
Dude, Tracy might carry the ball 27 times this week.
Anytime you got a team projected to win by like a touchdown and it's a horrible matchup, I just want all the pieces. Like, again, it's crazy to say about the Giants, but I honestly just think that Wandale's the process play there because the Chiefs are literally a top 3 defense against wide receivers.
Wandale hasn't crossed over 10 PPR points in 4 weeks despite massive volume, dude. I just don't.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. Like Wandale could get a touchdown in that game environment. He had a touchdown called back last week too.
Yeah. Now, for what it's worth, I think Wandale's a top 40 play. It's just like, dude, Sutton has 21 targets in the last 2 games. Like, even if it's a bad matchup.
All right, I'll capitulate to Sutton, although I would probably get gutty and go with Wandale there.
Fair enough. Let us keep smashing through these questions.
Failed to update question status.
Click it again.
That did that last time too.
Refresh the tab.
Yeah, maybe I should refresh.
Now press it.
Okay, hold on. Let me just fill out the question again so I can hit it.
Tracy.
No, it's still not working.
Oh.
That's kind of a problem because I don't know if it's going to send them the link. Hopefully you guys are watching this. If you are, if you have asked a question, hopefully you're watching this, but we might have to call an audible here and send the link to people.
Yeah.
Why isn't this fucking working?
That is not cool.
Maybe go to the creator chat in the Discord. I'll answer some questions in the meantime. Just don't let them know it's not working.
I'm just going to say what next question function is not working on streamer mode.
Yeah. Freddie D asks here, he's getting Jonathan Taylor and AJ Brown for Breece Hall and Cooper Kupp. I mean, this kind of feels like a rather lateral move. I'd probably take Breece and Kupp, to be honest. I think the difference between Kupp and AJ is smaller than the difference between Taylor and Breece, but it's pretty even overall between these two.
Yeah, I mean, left side very comfortably for me.
It's not very comfortably for me.
Very
I'm
comfortably for me.
definitely higher on Brown than you are, I think.
It's not about Brown. I think Brown's a stud. I view a big discrepancy between Hall and Taylor, and I think Kupp is a top 10 receiver rest of the season.
Yeah, I don't really think there's a huge difference. Like, there's a difference between Brees and Taylor. I don't see a huge difference between them.
I think Brees can be the RB1 overall down the stretch. His schedule opens up.
Taylor's that far behind.
I do. I
With
think he's
Flacco starting. I know Flacco looked bad last week, but Flacco's going to look better than that most games. Like, I think he's going to be a lot better than what he showed on Sunday night.
I don't disagree, but also, like, Taylor, we know is not going to gas patches. Or did I say gas patches? Gas patches. Wow. He's not going to catch passes. And I don't know, man. I think the overall efficiency of the running game goes down with Richardson not in the lineup. Straight up.
No, it doesn't.
I think it does.
The offensive efficiency and the ability to score touchdowns is more important to Jonathan Taylor than Richardson's efficiency that he provides because he runs.
I get that, but I mean, I just don't think he's going to be that efficient going forward. Like, when you have Flacco in the backfield, you're telling me schematically you're going to play Flacco like you do Richardson in the run game?
No, obviously not. But Taylor also catches more passes with Flacco.
Sure. You go, what, 2-3 catches a game? What is Brees?
I think it's a negligible difference, to be honest. And given that Taylor's value comes from touchdowns, the offense is better with Flacco. Ergo, it's better for Taylor.
Yeah, I mean, I don't dislike Taylor, but also I think you're just underplaying that. Like, Brees could flat out win you a league.
You see where I have Brees ranked, right? He's literally my third overall player. I really don't mind Taylor, and I prefer AJ Brown to Cooper Kupp by like a.
Wait, are we agreeing that you would still take the left side? Just you think the right side's closer than I do?
Yeah, I think it's closer. Right. Yeah, I think it's closer.
Yeah, I agree. By the way, Brock.
Yeah, I don't know why this is failed to update question statuses. Can you tell that to Austin right now? That's what he's asking.
Yeah.
The error says failed to update question status. Slush Monkey says Marvin Harrison for Mike Evans. So Slush Monkey, if you are like 7-2 or better, I'd be fine doing this, but I worry that Evans, like, I think he'll be back after the bye, but it's also not a foregone conclusion he'll be back after the bye. But we do have an absolute cupcake schedule down the stretch. I don't know if you've noticed the Bucs schedule. It is like so easy. It's so annoying that we played Baltimore, Atlanta, Kansas City, and San Francisco in 4 straight weeks. And then after the bye, we play like the Giants,
Carolina, Vegas, us.
Like terrible teams.
Did you already play Carolina earlier this year or no?
No, we haven't played them yet.
You get them twice on the fantasy playoff schedule.
We played Atlanta twice already, and we only played New Orleans once, and it was in New Orleans.
Dude, the only way this schedule could have been better is if the Chargers were the Week 18 game and New Orleans was the Week 15 game. Everything else is as ideal as it can get.
Oh, it's very, very ideal. I just wish they would have, like, could you have weaved in one of these Panthers games, like, instead of the KC game last week or the San Fran game this week? Like, we could use a Panthers game right now, to be honest.
I don't disagree. Also, it makes me sick that fucking Zach has Evans on the block like now.
But yeah, I'm probably rolling with Evans here, man. I think the upside is just way higher for him, for Harrison. Like, Harrison's he's better right now, but I think the upside once Evans is on the field, if you are a competitive team that's winning games right now, that it supersedes what Harrison's giving you currently.
Honestly, a good point. I think I'm gonna have to adjust both of them in my rest of season rankings because
I'm probably gonna have to do the same thing, to be honest.
Like, where do you think I have Marv ranked in terms of the weekly rankings this week? Again, like, obviously
he's in the mid to late 20s for me right now.
Yeah, that's where he should be. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to go through my wide receiver rankings again. I'm not going to go too far in depth because we still have a couple of questions to answer. So I'm just going to say this real quickly. Who are you starting between Marv and Ladd this week? Full PPR.
I would start. Okay, the trade's working now. Okay. I would definitely go with Marv still, just because the matchup for Ladd is brutal. If the matchup was better for Ladd, I would start McConkey.
I think the matchup's a lot better than you're giving it credit for. From a pass rate over expectation standpoint, from a volume perspective on the Chargers offense itself. Like, if Dobbins isn't running the ball efficiently, and we've seen them go to the pass in the last few weeks, they will go to the pass. Yeah. And Herbert's been a top 5 quarterback in the league since the bye, at very least.
He's been so good. Yeah, you're right. Okay, I'm gonna just briefly give some rationale here. AJ, I know you're in the chat right now, so it probably doesn't matter, but Odunze was the first pick there, and then we were kind of caught between Wandale and Cortland Sutton. Stinky Nerd also, if you're watching this, we were very easily Tracy. on your question. But yeah, we capitulated to Sutton, and then Freddie, we just answered his question. We were left side, Danny by a larger margin than me, but we were both still on the left side of that trade. And then Mike Evans versus Marvin Harrison Jr., depending on your position. Obviously, if you're like a 5-4 team, I would just hold Marvin. But if you are, 6-3 with a lot of points, 4, 7-2, 8-1, 9-0, like you should probably just go for Evans, to be honest, because I think his projection's better down the stretch.
I'll contextualize it like this. Marvin Harrison Jr. has a week 11 bye. Mike Evans is not coming back until your guys' week 11 bye.
That's
You're
a good
getting
point.
one extra game of Marvin Harrison projected than Mike Evans, and I can tell you right now, Mike
it's also
Evans
against the Jets too.
Exactly, and who I have at wide receiver 27, I believe, wide receiver 26 this week for Marv. So it's like, can you do without a wide receiver 3 this week to get a guy that, Evans down the stretch, probably
he'll be a wide receiver 1 in some of those games, dude. Carolina twice, Giants
with no Godwin on the field.
Receiver 1 in those games.
No Godwin on the field either.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. You might think this doesn't matter. They care about getting Mike Evans to 1,000 yards, dude. The Bucks care. Like, they're going to try and get him there, even though he's missed some time and he's not really on pace for it right now. He's going to need like 700 yards in like fucking 8 games.
He's going to need to go basically 100 yards per game down the stretch.
How many yards does he have right now? 300?
335, and he has 6 games after the bye.
Yeah, he's going to literally go nuclear in some of these games. He's going to need a classic vintage 200-yard, 3-touchdown game against Carolina twice.
Fuck, Zach has him.
Yeah, not good. Not good. Mateen sends in a question here. He just has listed Tank Dell. He has another question listed right here. Maybe this was probably what he tried to do. But regardless, Dell is an excellent start this week. It doesn't look like Collins is going to play. So if you are deciding between Dell, he is definitely a great option there. Apologies that you had to submit this a second time. We could maybe fire you a voucher for that.
Yeah, it's a voucher for sure.
Yeah, Mateen also has CJ Stroud listed here. He's obviously your quarterback. Running backs, Achane is my highest ranked of that group. And then Gibbs would be slightly ahead of Tracy, not by much this week, which is surprising. And then, this was the rest of his question here. So Dell, Waddle, and then Jaden Reed's on bye. So you're going with Dell there for sure. Tight end is going to be Pitts. You don't really have a choice. And then your flex is going to be Tracy over Brian Robinson and Waddle for sure there. Pretty easy.
I'm assuming maybe what he would have done is the question was Dell or like Waddle as his wide receiver probably is what he meant to do in the other question.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair to assume that. But you have Stroud for starters, which also helps you. And you also do already have Achane, which would sway me away from Waddle a little bit as well. So yeah, you're definitely going with Dell there. Although I do think, I literally just bought Jalen Waddle as proof of this, and I tried to buy him from Mason today as also proof of this. I think Waddle's a pretty decent buy right now. People are kind of panicking on him.
It depends for what, dude. Like Mason
wide receiver 3 price tags, man. Like that's what he went for in my home league. Mason thinks he's a wide receiver 1 still. Apparently,
where do you have him ranked rest of the season?
He's in my wide receiver 3 rankings, but I also have him. I have him in like the mid 30s. Like I have him like 33 or something like that.
So I actually have him a little bit higher than you, but like I'm not confident with buying him right now.
No, neither am I. He's one of those guys that he just like actually needs to start playing better. That's literally all that needs to happen.
Straight up. So we have about 9 to 10 minutes before kickoff. So let's speed through because we have a ton more to go through.
Yeah, we have quite a few. Mateen, another one here. He sent in. Oh, hold on. Did he triple submit? Yeah, we're gonna definitely need to make sure.
Yeah, get him a voucher for sure.
Yeah, we need to get him a voucher for sure. But anyways, yeah.
What was the username? Let me just do that right now.
MATTEN.R.
He is not a user.
Yeah, make sure for those of you guys that are sending in questions over on the site, make sure you even if you just sign up for a free trial and cancel, make sure you have a username in the system because we can't actually give you vouchers without one. So if you don't want to sign up for the subscription, that's your decision. Obviously, that's your money if you can't afford it or whatever. But if you're going to send us super chats, we can't actually give you vouchers if you don't have an account. So just to let you guys know that.
We have to pick up the pace.
Yeah, we got it. Okay. Yeah. Cook, Flowers, Marvin, Aaron Jones, Pacheco, London. So Cook over Jones, Flowers.
If you have the wide receiver depth to be able to lose Flowers, I think I like the right side here.
I think I prefer the Cook, Flowers, and Harrison side. I think there's a lot of risk that you're inheriting on the right side of this deal.
Let's just say you're 6-3 or better. It's very easy.
I think I would still take the left side no matter what. If you want to go get Pacheco because you're 6-3 or better, I would just do like a 1-for-1 trade. I wouldn't mess around this much, in my opinion. I think you're taking a downgrade at the other positions, and Flowers for Pacheco in and of itself is already, I think, too much to pay for Pacheco.
I don't disagree, but I also think I would much rather have London and Jones to Cook and Harrison the rest of the season.
You'd rather have London and I'd rather have London, than Harrison, but I would not rather have Jones.
The package of London and Jones versus Cook and Harrison.
I see what you mean. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. London's probably the best player in the deal, and that's probably where you get there. But I personally like the left side of this deal, unless you're like really just have so much depth on this team.
That's where I'm at. Like, if you're in the thing with me is like, I think London has the opportunity to be a first round caliber player, and I don't think he's going to miss time. Like, it sounds like he might play this week. So, like, if you're in an advantageous position, you can afford to wait for Pacheco to come back. I do like the right side personally, but if you do need wins now, I don't blame you for sticking with the left. That's where I'm at with this.
For sure. I'm gonna be pissed if it's a Justice Hill week and I called it. Made trades to acquire Hill and Christian McCaffrey, 6-3 tied with 5 other people.
Yep.
I mean, Brees is obviously in your lineup. McCaffrey's going to play this week. I think it's a foregone conclusion, to be honest. So he's going to be, it's not 100% confirmed yet, but it looks like it's trending in that direction.
For which player, sir?
For Christian McCaffrey at running back and Brees Hall. Puka Nacua is going to be in your lineup. Tyreek Hill is going to be in your lineup, obviously.
Debo's going to be
tight end. You're going Laporta probably over Ertz. Yeah. And then flex decision is going to be between, Debo's got to be in your lineup if he plays.
And then this is very comfortably Chuba.
Yeah, it would be probably between Chuba and Amari Cooper. I don't have Amari the other one. Yeah, I think it's got to be Cooper or Chuba. Sorry, because of the fact that Brooks is coming off an ACL tear. They're probably not going to give him more than like 30-40%.
Did you hear how their OC attributed or acknowledged the backfield?
What did he say?
He said this is Chuba's backfield, and we got Brooks and Sanders to spell him. Is what he said.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Let's spend a second.
They have just not drafted fucking Brooks, man.
They're fucking losers. They're a loser franchise. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Let's trade up for a fucking second round running back off an ACL and then re-sign our fucking.
Is this the most investment of any backfield in the NFL? The 2 contracts that they're paying for their running back and a second round pick.
Yeah, like Sanders making fucking $8 million a year too, or $7 million a year.
What the hell are they doing, man? You couldn't have just let Dallas draft Jonathan Brooks.
Yeah, no,
or whatever other team was going to draft him.
Let's get back to the comments because that's just going to make me upset.
Yeah.
Or how we threw a 4th rounder real quick, or how we threw a 4th rounder for fucking Trey Lance when Tyrone Tracy was available. Yeah, that's cool too.
Tough scene. I think it's Odunze versus Jennings here.
Jennings, if he's healthy.
Really? You'd play Jennings over Odunze?
Against Tampa?
Yeah. The Patriots are so bad against the pass, and Christian Gonzalez is going to be on DJ Moore, so I'd probably play Odunze. But I also don't think Jennings is going to play like 100% complement of the snaps. I think I would rather play Pearsall of the 2 of them.
I have actually Jennings rated higher than Pearsall. Again, it all depends if he's healthy, because like he is questionable right now. But if he does play, I think he's a strong top 30 overall wide receiver start. Jennings, I really do.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'll capitulate to Jennings, but I would probably go with Odunze in that situation. Okay, we got to fire through these here. If I send now, is it worth the risk of a Chase injury?
I need full context of your team. I think I would lean the Chase side if you're in an advantageous position because he's just a league-winning type of player. But if you need
he's also my wide receiver 1 on the week. So if you can get this done before kickoff, definitely go ahead and do it because he has monster games against the Ravens. It's what he does. And the Ravens have never been worse against the pass than they are right now.
The biggest pass funnel defense outside of the Tennessee Titans, I believe, in terms of pass rate over expectation.
Like I talked about it on my TikTok today, but like Chase legit crushes every time he plays the Ravens, and he's never played this bad of a Ravens defense. It's crazy. So dynasty trade here, 2 quarterback, CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, this is Lamb for Nacua in a second. Like I would need a first to be able to move off of Lamb in this situation. So I would go with CeeDee Lamb pretty easily there. Baloo balls.
Let's keep smashing through. How many questions do we have left?
We have 3 more, I think.
Okay. All right, we'll refresh.
Bertrand, shout out for $21 donation there. We'll maybe try and fire you a voucher if you got an account. I'm 7-2, and the guy trading is trying to get a win to get into the playoffs. I'm worried about the injury, so he throws in Mason too. So he's going to get McCaffrey and Mason just in case of the injury, which is something to note, I think, in this trade.
very
This has
comfortable
got
on
to
the
be
right side.
McCaffrey and Collins, I think.
Mhm.
But I love Kyron rest of season. But man, McCaffrey, Collins, and you're getting Mason to just hold as a handcuff. I think it's worth it.
What am I missing here? I'd rather have Nico to Kyron rest of the season. Much rather have McCaffrey to Jones.
I would not. I have, like you can see, I have Kyron ranked over Nico because I think Kyron's schedule is just like literally cupcakes, and he's gonna just smoke everybody the rest of the season. But McCaffrey and like Collins and Kyron at the very least are a wash.
3 minutes.
Yep.
Sorry. Usually I wouldn't cut you off, but like we have to get these questions done.
9-0 weekly FSE glaze. You love to see it. Okay, let's go easy here. Justin Jefferson's in your lineup. Amon-Ra St. Brown's.
This good players
guy has the elite team.
Okay.
Elite neighbors, tight end. Hawkinson over Laporta. Then we have who else do we got?
Garrett and Nakua.
Garrett Wilson, Puka Nakua. I mean, Nakua's in your lineup. I think he would be the best next option there. And then it's Garrett versus London. I think I go Garrett given the injury to London there. So insane team. Of course you are 9-0 with this fucking mammoth of a roster.
Jesus.
Easy.
2 minutes till kickoff.
Diori money. I don't know what that is. Xavier Legette, Metcalf, Lad McConkey, Hopkins. This is very easily Metcalf and Legette.
Not very easily, but I would lean that side.
Yeah, this is precisely how I would be selling DeAndre Hopkins if you can go ahead and do it. You still get an upside swing with Legette. You get a way better option with DK Metcalf, in my opinion. So
yeah, I would agree with you there because although I prefer Lad to Legette, like you're getting off the risk of the age with DeAndre Hopkins for just a guy that you know is going to be a very productive receiver down the stretch with DK. Now, I will say, like, I don't think it's out of the range of outcomes that D-Hop would outscore DK down the stretch. But with that being said, knowing the risk profile, knowing that he's older, he's had some lower body injuries in the last couple of years. Like, I know DK's had his fair share of injuries, but he's also 6'4", 235 pounds down the stretch and 26 years old. You know?
Yeah, no, exactly. Of course, quick shout out to Underdog as well. This is what I'm rolling with tonight. Higher than 3.5 receptions on.
That's actually mine.
What's up?
That's actually mine. No, that is mine.
Oh, is it actually?
That is mine. Yeah, that's what makes it hilarious. Dead ass.
Well, so, hey, you want to hear something hilarious? I sent Spicy mine, and it's the same, except for Jamar Chase was to score a touchdown.
Dude, I noticed that when I submitted to him.
I used this in today's video thinking he just messed up and put in the higher the fantasy points instead of the touchdown. That's hilarious. We had the exact same picks. That's so funny. We don't consult each other on these picks, by the way. But yeah, Chase Brown, 5 targets last week. He can have those catches. Derrick Henry's gone over 100 or over 90 yards in 6 of his last 7 games. And Jamar Chase owns the Baltimore Ravens. Again, shout out to Underdog, free square to new users over there for Lamar Jackson. Promo code FSE to tail those picks if you can get them in under the gun before kickoff. But that is so funny that we have literally the fucking same pick.
You didn't see in the chat today at like 10 a.m. I'm like, no fucking way. I swear to God, I didn't even look at your slip. And then I sent the screenshot. The only difference is you had the Chase touchdown and I had the fantasy points. That's only
so
difference.
Funny, dude. Also, we've had, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but we have had new thumbnails the last couple of days. We are working with a guy who's way more talented of a graphic designer than me and Danny combined. So, what do you guys think? I mean, this live stream has a new thumbnail. We've had a new thumbnail, I think, on each of the last 3 videos so far. We're doing a test week with them right now. What are you guys thoughts on the thumbnails? I think they've been a lot better. My dumbass doesn't know how to design thumbnails, so
I mean, if you don't know how to design thumbnails and you're the database guy, what do you think I would know how to design? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're not good at graphic design. We talk ball. That's what we do.
Yeah, I'm a generational yapper. That's what I'm known as. Which, by the way, if you have not already done so, make sure you check out the Flock League video for this week. The preview was posted today. The follow-up will be posted on Tuesday. And I mean, this is probably the biggest week of the year in terms of just the vibe around the league. No. I mean, in terms of the vibe around the league, for me and you, most important league or week of the year. For the audience, though, me and fucking Mason are the heels of the league. Everybody either loves us or hates us. So I think from a content perspective, people like will pick sides, dude. It's gonna be hectic.
Yeah, I'm playing. That's the other thing that factors into the Justice Hill decision is that maybe I did want the floor play because Nathan's team is ass. But dude, no, at the same time, I might eat my words on that because his team is actually I'm playing him at the worst time. Like Kyron has a good matchup, good game environment. Puka's back healthy. He wasn't playing most of the year.
Did you hear me cook him on the stream today? Again, I love you, Nathan. If you're watching this, obviously we're doing it all for fun entertainment. But you know how like he always does clips, like just like
I
talking about
did see.
buying
I
or
saw.
making
I saw.
teams.
You're like, why are you so obsessed with me? I saw that part.
Yeah, I said that, and then at one point when Zach put up Bo Nix on the wire, I'm like, yeah, just put up like Tom or Joe or like Nathan or something like that. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I saw that part.
no, I'm joking if you're watching, brother. It's all good fun. But yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna be the heel of the league, I got to make jokes, you know.
Dude, Mason talks so much shit about my team. Like my record, first of all, I have one less win than him with more points for. If me and Mason had played every single week, I would be 5-4. He would be 4-5. And I had Brandon Ayuk go down for the season, which he has no major injuries on his team. And I haven't had a quarterback put up more than 17 points in my lineup all year because the only good quarterback performance I got was last week from Mahomes, and it was on my bench.
No, yeah, that is, you would have won, but fuck, that's so unlucky, dude. Did you see, by the way, you know how Mason always talks about his coaching?
Yeah.
So I put it in the Discord. I said, interesting analytics I found. It would appear that despite Mason's claims at being the best coach in the league, the analytics point to him being the second least efficient manager. And I took screenshots of all the matchups. You're actually the lowest in terms of start-sit decision percentage.
I know I am.
But he is the second lowest. And I'm like, oh, it's great that you call yourself the best coach when you're behind Joe and Tom in this metric, who hasn't played fantasy football ever in his life.
Yeah, I'm behind everybody because I just make the wrong decisions.
I mean, yeah, it's acceptable when you do. Mason just yaps, so I'll roast him for
Well,
it.
a lot of that probably did come at the beginning of the season when I actually did have a lot of depth at the time, and that's when I like shopped some of it off. But yeah, not a great situation for me this week. Hopefully, I can get a win. Sorry, against Nathan. We'll have you covered with sneaky starts tomorrow. Both tier lists will be live on Saturday as per usual, and we'll see you guys Sunday morning. But yeah, enjoy the game. It is on right now. Should be a heater. Peace out. Happy Justice Hill week.
Wait, did you choose